Hello, Red Wings. It is time to find our print source for our 3D, or for our research project. So I have been sweet, because I am that way, and I have actually added links to the web page so that you don't have to go through your Google Classroom. But if you wanted to, let's not forget that under here is information on how to use your library via LCPS Go, and how to access ebooks, and how to put books on hold. Okay, so these are all your library reference materials, and they are still in the Google Classroom like they were at the beginning of the school year. I am going to use the card catalog, and right here's a video on how to use the card catalog, but I don't really need to watch the video because I made the video, so I might know how to do it. So I'm going to go into my card catalog, and remember, you go through LCPS Go, Library Resources, Follow Destiny, and I've already done that, right? And actually, right? So I'm on catalog, and I'm going to look up 3D printing, okay? And there we go. We actually have 5 books on 3D printing here in our library. If I looked and I didn't have anything, I could do this again and type in 3D printing. And right here where it says location, I could change that to elementary schools or Loudoun County schools and hit enter. Maybe. And then we have 72 books on 3D printing. So that gives me a few other choices. And right here, if it says no local copies, that means I'm going to have to put that book on hold. And if we go back to our website, right here is the Interlibrary Loan link, and it is again also in your Google Classroom. So student hold request. I might try to change the name on this. Anyway, so I would go in and I would fill this out if we do not have the book in our collection, okay? And if I need to get it from another school, I'd fill this out. And then Mrs. Henry will order it for you, okay? So we already have it. So here's some of the books. I'm going to go back to my original search, 3D printing. And again, I know that the book that I want is actually here at Cardinal Ridge, so I'm just going to hit enter for Cardinal Ridge. Hit enter, and so there's the books. Now, I have already gone and gotten the books. Here's one of them. This is called Looking Inside a 3D Printer. So I am going to go to my KWL chart, right? And it is time for me to start writing the sources. And we just learned how to, what information we need to save to cite a source. And I did a little cheat right here for you, so it's a quick reminder. But if you have forgotten, go back to the video and watch the video again so you get the information right. It's really important. Okay, so my first print source, the author of this, I'm going to write last name first. Right? Alright. So then the title is, alright. This book does not have other contributors, so I don't need to worry about that. And this is going to get italicized because you italicize books. Okay? Version's not here. Number, we don't have, it's not like 1 in 1,000 or whatever. The publisher, I'm going to look inside the book. See, there's the title and there's the author, right? So now I'm going to look inside the book and see if I can find the publisher. And right here it says Cherry Lake Publishing. So I'm going to write Cherry Lake. Alright. The publication date should be in here also. Right here it says copyright 2017. So I'm going to write 2017. And then the location. Where is it printed? So Ann Arbor, Michigan. See, it says it right in there. And this is the this is inside. So here's the inside title page. And on the back of that is where you find a lot of the information that you need, okay? So Ann Arbor, Michigan is the publishing place. All right. So that's my first source. And I'm going to go ahead and number it because I found a second print book that I want to use. And so I don't want to have to write the title every time. But I did learn some interesting stuff from this book. So I'm going to write number 1 because it's from my first source, right? And I already decided that source. And one of the things that I learned that I found really interesting about 3D printing in here is, all right, so, there's a lot of interesting information, but where's the page? Okay, that's how to clean it. Finishing touches, filling in the gaps. So basically what I learned is a 3D printer just prints layers of an image. Okay, so one of the things they suggested is, like, imagine drawing something, but draw it a layer at a time. And so basically what the 3D printer does is it melts the filament, okay, the plastic, and then it draws a layer of it out, right? And then it draws the next layer, and the next layer just keeps building on top of each other. And so that's how it actually prints, which I thought was fascinating because I didn't know that before. It says, no, that's the safety first. It says be careful because it is melting filament, so it does get hot. And then on the inside, it says fill in the gaps. So, like, this is my 3D printed Yoda, right? And you look at it, and it looks very solid, right? Except for when it prints, it actually prints on the inside like this. You see that? So it's not solid. It's kind of got like a waffle inside. And so it saves money because you don't have to 3D print fill in the entire solid part. Also, it says that when you're finished, sometimes you might have to sand things. And you can see right here, a little baby Yoda's hand has got some stuff sticking to it, right? And right here, it's got a lot of support structures on it still. Because if it just 3D printed these layers without this here, those layers would just collapse. So it has to do the support structures in to be able to get these parts on there. Because, Baby Yoda would look really silly without pointy ears. And then you take like a pair of pliers and you pull this stuff off out of the way until you finally get the finished Baby Yoda. And then you can sand any of the rough edges and stuff like that if you want to. So that's the information I got. So I need to enter that into. So it prints layer by layer. See, layer, I think I'm going to say layer on top of layer to make the 3D image. And, that should be a 1 again too, right? Because it's the same one, right? No! There we go. No! Oh my gosh, it's going to drive me nuts. Anyway, okay. So, same. Actually, you know what? Maybe instead of doing that, I could just, because I already know that's the first source, right? So, I'm going to do it this way. Alright? So, there's one. One bit of information. The second one is inside is hollow with a waffle grid to support it. The print. We'll say structure, right? We'll say layers. I like that. Layers, okay? And then, what else did I learn from this book? The filament is plastic that is melted to print each layer, right? That then cools down and hardens. Okay, so that is my first entry. That's what I've learned from my first source. All right, and you saw how I added the information to my KWL chart. I made sure that I have my source cited because it's really terrible at the very end when Ms. Lane goes, hey, you need to make sure you have a bibliography page, and you haven't kept track of any of that stuff. And I guarantee you, I will be asking for bibliography pages because we do not want to use anybody's information unethically, which means that any information we get from another source, we have to give credit to that source. Okay? I do have a couple more books that I'm going to read, so I'm going to add some more information as I go along, but you don't have to watch me do that. Okay? Thank you.